You're tuning into the Careering with Cameron podcast, your safe place for asking all the dumb questions about finding a job. Hi, it's Kevin Cameron with Careering with Cameron. On today's episode, we're going to talk about something that I've been seeing an awful lot of in my feed, and that's what's your how. I know we talk a lot about what's your why, and it seems like it's almost become cliche, although I do end every session with guests by asking what's their why. The point is, to get to what's your why, we need to understand what's your how. And a lot of times, explaining that can kind of help people to see a little bit of a glimmer of light in terms of what's next. So what's your how? What does that look like? A lot of times, your how presents itself throughout your career. Your how is actually how you can get to that why. So thinking about back to the time when you're in school, maybe it's even when you're in elementary school, maybe it's something that's later in your life than that. At some point, you probably are nudged by what's your how. So your how is something that pops up. It's something that's kind of baked in, right? The how really is what you're good at. It's your superpower, if you will. Many times when we're younger, we find teachers who may say, you know what you'd be good at? You should think about, or I could see you be, it used to be that you would ask little kids what they wanted to be when they grew up, and they'd say a policeman or a firefighter or something along those lines. It's not necessarily that answer, but it's more thinking about what your interest is. Thinking about what makes the light go on, your spirit, thinking about what makes you happy in terms of you're good at it, it's work, but you're good at it and you can build from there. Most of those things that fall into the how category can be developed career-wise. So a lot of times I will see people who come to me and they're feeling stuck. The career is not really what they were hoping it would be. They took a position because it was a job, they could pay their rent, they could pay for their mortgage, whatever it may be. It was something that was a means to make something happen, right? But it really wasn't all that engaging. It wasn't all that fulfilling. And so they want to try to figure out what that how is. And when we sit down and talk about, well, what is it that you think you want to do? What is it that you like to do when you have some free time? How do we get to a place where you feel as though what you do in your free time is something that you can do as a career? And that really comes back to what your how is. How are you going to generate a role or a position, a job, a mission, whatever it may be, to be able to provide for you to reach your why? The how comes first. I think we miss that a lot of times. Sometimes it's a matter of not just what's your major, what's your pathway. Sometimes it's a matter of like, you know what? I like being outside. I like hiking. Maybe it's a matter of I like carpentry, or I like to read. I like to help people. I like to work with them. I like to figure out why people do the things that they do. There's a lot of different options that are there. And if you're paying attention to them, you'll start to see them. Now, how do you pay attention to something you don't know is there? That's a great question. Unfortunately, normally you can see the how once you're beyond that point. Once you've figured out the how, you can look back and say, oh, there were so many opportunities where the how popped up and I was able to use this ability that I didn't really know how I was able to do it. I didn't know it was a skill that I had, but it helped me to get through that situation. Maybe it helped me to help a friend get through that situation. It wasn't anything that I felt like I had taken a class on or I had been exceptionally trained in. And for me, that was really being able to help people figure out like, where are they going and what do they want to do next? That wasn't anything that I was ever trained in. There's no major called, what are you doing and what are you doing next? I tried a lot, but there's no major for that, right? So how do you sit with somebody and understand like, what lights them up? What is it when you're talking to people that you can't wait to share? Most people like to talk about themselves. Where people, I think, get a little more introverted is if they feel as though they have that superpower that may not quite be accepted by everyone. It may be something that's super scientific and people can't understand it very easily. So they're not sure how to interact with that person on that topic. It could be something that's just very abstract. What is that thing that you really enjoy, that you're good at, and you're not really sure how? It's something that just is there. You will bump into it multiple times. The universe is going to keep bringing that to you over and over again because A, it knows you're good at it, and B, you tend to subconsciously find it because you're pulled to it, right? So if you're in situations with a group and you're all in a conversation and somebody says something like, using myself as an example, I'm not sure what I want to do with my career. I hate my job. Sundays are awful. I just want to love my Mondays. I can't wait to talk to them. I just want to understand, like, what do you do? What do you want to do? What do you wish you did? What do you not like about your job the most? What do you love about your job? How do we figure out how to take that I love this about my job and make it the whole job, or at least 80%, right? You're not going to love every second of your job. It's just not possible. Nobody loves 100% of their job, but they can love the majority of their job. And just to be very clear, that may not be your first job. You may need a first job in order to figure out what do you want to do and how can you do that going forward with some experience now behind you. And so what I recommend is getting started in your career to find a job that's going to have some transferable skills, something where you're learning a skill that you can use someplace else, whether it's software implementation, whether it is harnessing the power now of AI and understanding how to use it, whether it's accounting, whether it's English, whether it's sales, something there is going to be able to be transferred to a different role. Always. It's just a matter of figuring out what that is and how to transfer it. So don't spend forever worrying about the first job. Just figure out, are there transferable skills here? And are they something that I can move to a career to get to where I want to be? And that want to be part may not be all that clear to you yet. And that's okay. We can get there. But the first role really is transferable skills. Learning something that has a foundation for you to move forward with. Then starting to pay attention to what you're drawn to. What are the things that keep coming to you? What are the things that your friends bring to you that they're like, hey, I need help with this. Can you help me? Is it history? Is it geography? What are those things? Is it conversation? Is it just being a shoulder for them? Like, what does it look like? And paying attention to that from the context of, do I enjoy this or am I just good at it? Because if you enjoy it and you're good at it, that's a pretty good example of something that could be your how. And if it's something where you don't enjoy it at all, but you're good at it, you're probably close to your how, but you're not quite there yet. And once we have that how piece, then we can look at why. And why really comes from, what are you passionate about? Not what are you fantastic at that you can link to what you're passionate about. What are you passionate about that you would like to accomplish in your career or outside of your career? Maybe it's you want to accomplish something for your family. That's the why. And those two things linked together are a very powerful tool because you're in a place where work doesn't seem like work anymore. Work seems like you're doing something that you are master level skills with, and also you're getting closer to achieving a goal that you had set for yourself that's in your big picture. This is something that's going to mean a lot to me, and it's going to take probably a long time to get there, but it's what I'm really, really passionate about. Figuring out how. I want you to think about going forward. What are those things that come to you that people ask you to do? What are the pieces of a job that you are like, I'm excited about that part and I'm not excited about that part? And I want you to start to track on a piece of paper, on your phone, create a journal in ChatGPT, whatever you want to do. Keep track of it and start to look at the things that you enjoy doing and that you connect with as part of tasks, jobs, classes, whatever it may be, project teams. Let it start to build so that you can start to see, these are all the things I enjoy, and then reach out to me and let's have a conversation about where those things live in terms of a career. That is fun for me. I enjoy helping people figure out, how do you put together all the pieces you love to create your how so you can get to your why. This is a really short show, but I really wanted to share with you how important that how piece is. And it's something that I think is being included in the what's your why, and it's a separate thing. So I wanted to call it out. I hope you enjoyed this session. I would love to hear from you about either how you discovered your how. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, talk about that. Talk about how you discovered your how, your why. Would love to have you on. If you did enjoy this show and you feel like this is something you can share with somebody who may be struggling with what do they want to do when they grow up, no matter how old they are, please share it with them. Go ahead and subscribe, give us 5 stars, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Stay in the loop at careeringwithcameron.com/talent connect, or check out our website, www.talent-connect.net.